good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. If you can tell by the title, it is time for two PS1 game reviews. Now, I just gotta be honest, both these games have a little bit of an interesting story, one more than the other, and believe it or not, both of these were published by Midway. Ain't that some scary ass shit? Particularly when one of them is from 96, the other one's 98, and no, I'm not talking about Mortal Kombat 4, believe it or not. Which is which may surprise people, to say the least. So here we go. The first one, War Gods. There's the fucking disc. There's the manual. Let's talk about War Gods. War Gods came out in 1996, did come out for the home systems at the time, 64. PlayStation 1 and Windows in 97. Now, the game pretty much is you choose one of 10 fighters, yada yada yada, battling over a mysterious or that crash landed on Earth from outer space. Yeah, you're hunting for a piece of alien shit. There you go. Now, pretty much the game is heavily fucking influenced by the Mortal Kombat series, and that is no fucking lie. It is wanting to be a bad. And I mean, it's trying to be a Mortal Kombat ripoff, but it fails badly. And I mean badly. And it has fucking fatalities. Now, unique to the War Gods is the 3D button, which I can never get it to fucking work at all. The game's graphics were created using a technology Midway called Digital Skin. Yeah. Ain't this fun? Now, the game does play similar to MK3. You know, it does. The run opponent is replaced with a 3D button that I could never fucking figure out. God help me on that. Which I'm sadly not kidding. Now, Midway, by the way, released as a sort of luminous test of its new 3D software prior to the release of MK4. Okay, this game came out before MK4. There's some scary shit. Just think, if this game would have been good, which thank God it wasn't, we could have a War Gods 2. Which thankfully we do not. The plot is fucking stupid as all hell. Yeah, well, you want so many characters fighting for a piece of glowing alien dog shit. And that's what I call it. And, okay, here are the characters. You got an evil high priestess, some dumbass who have Anubis, who's a blind ripoff of Anubis, a fucking Terminator wannabe, a medieval samurai who looks like he smoked too much crack, Maximus, which is the only one who I think actually has a brain, Pagan, who has the best attack in the game, and my cousin knows this because me and him were playing it when we got back from MagFest. We call it the Flying Pussy Attack. Now, I'm sure some of you will have, but that's actually what I call it. I think it's a good name. Because here's what she does. She literally flies at you with her legs open, lands on your face, squeezes her legs around your head, and your head is literally in her pussy. Okay? Does that tell you what kind of drugs or drinking they were doing when they came up with this? Then you got a stone idol, a warrior princess who transforms into a Viking goddess, a voodoo witch doctor. His name is Voodoo. Idiot name, and Warhead, who is a soldier who, for some reason, merged with nuclear weapons. Yippee. Now, like I said in the thing earlier, this game does have fatalities. Some of them are funny. Some of them actually make sense. And then you got Kabuki Joe, who just sticks a pole through your stomach. Retarded. As a matter of fact, the only one I actually didn't find humorless or silly. It was just the most stupidest one out of them all. Now, believe it or not, some people like this game, which I don't know why. It is one of the worst fighting games I've ever played in my life. And I'm reviewing it just to tell you people, stay away from it, okay? As a matter of fact, the 64 version was delayed because of AI, okay? Pretty much it is this. To me, it tries to be an MK ripoff, but it fails miserably. And this is one of 3 games that came out before Mortal Kombat 4. BioFreaks was the other one, which I'm about to review in 2 seconds. And the other one, which was also published by Midway, was Mace the Dark Age. But here's the difference between those 3. BioFreaks and Mace the Dark Age was probably the best one. Unfortunately, Mace is the only one not to come out on PlayStation, which sucks. So if you can find it, you're going to have to look for it on the 64. I would recommend it because it's one of those games that's actually fun and you know, Mace is pretty much a brutal version of Soul Edge. If you love Soul Edge and Mortal Kombat, you love Mace. But back to War Gods. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking at Midway. I think maybe they just wanted to be retarded. But I'm telling you this. Stay away, for the love of God. Stay away from this game. Okay? Stay away from this. Okay? Throw it away. Okay? I bought it for $1. Okay? And that's the only reason I bought it, because it was cheap. And you know, it sucks. Final score at the end of the day will be later in the video. Let's move on to a better game that's not War Gods. That is a somewhat more of a ripoff. Let's be honest, is a ripoff of Mortal Kombat in a way as well, and that is BioFreaks. Yes, the guy didn't have the case for either of them. I apologize. Now, BioFreaks was released in 1998, and it was originally planned for arcades. Prototypes of the game were tested at arcades, but the final arcade release was cancelled. The game only was officially released on the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and PC. Now, I'm not going to get into the characters, because to be honest, the only character anybody remembers from this game is Zipperhead. Other than that, no one remembers. Pretty much the story of this is this. Neo-America, you know, pretty much the American has fallen like great empire, pretty much. Humans mixing DNA shit with machines. There you go. The end. Now, believe it or not, the game is actually fun. This game does have a polygraph fighting engine with 8 different fighters and 2 boss fighters. So, 10 overall. Not bad. Now, of course, there was some flying, 3D included, flying into the air for short periods, which was decent at best. And it does set itself apart from more of the fighting games because it does not lock the players down to a DD plane of combat. You can actually roam around the arena. And some of the arenas even have traps which can even damage or kill the opponent, which MK would utilize in Armageddon for instant kills. Now, yes, I cannot believe I said in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, God help me. Now, there were only 10 areas, but only 9 of them were selectable in versus mode. Now, BioFreaks uses a mixture of hand-to-hand and long-range combat. Each character have their own special move, both close, and long range, as well as finishing attacks. Much like the fatalities of Mortal Kombat. Well, like I said, this was published by Midway, so expect that. That you can execute on your opponents, or some, like in Time Killers, will remove limbs. Now, Time Killers was another good game from back in the day. I ain't going to explain that one right now. Maybe in another day down the road. That's a video for another day. Now, extra damage from powerful attacks can add up, causing a limb to be destroyed as well. Now, ironically enough, you can turn off limb loss. However, just as the blood cancer, you can turn them off if you have little bitty kitties. Now, unfortunately, one of the main problems, which I did not like, limbs lost during the first round return either way at the start of the second round. Boo on that! Now, BioFreaks does have 7 gameplay modes, believe it or not. You got the arcade versus practice, which definitely is recommended. The other 2 game modes are team battle, which is useful, and survival mode, which is, I think, was kind of thrown in there. I don't really care for survival, but I would recommend doing the practice to get used to each character, and team battle just for kicks. Now, this is where things get interesting. BioFreaks has a lot of mixed reviews. The PlayStation 1 version has a 61%, so it's a D. A low D at best. Where The 64 version has a rating of 70, which is a surprise to me. Now, for BioFreaks, right here, in my hand, I paid $2.50 for it at MagFest. Not a bad deal. If you can, I would not pay. I'd say I wouldn't pay over $5 for this. I mean, I only paid $2.50 because it came like this. You know, if it had the manual on the, if you had the manual on the case, I probably would have spent more, most definitely. Now, out of the two, I'd recommend BioFreaks if you can find it, because that one's actually fun to play, and it graphically it does hold up a bit to this generation. You know, not great, but it holds up nicely to where it's not going to make you want to rip your eyes out. And the sound is pretty good, and the controls somewhat still work for this day and age. Unfortunately, for this pile of crap, no, 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 don't. This was $1. There's a reason why War Gods was $1. It's such ass. So at the end of the day, BioFreaks gets a score of 3 out of 5. It holds up pretty nicely. It still plays well. I definitely recommend you find this. It's a good little romp from video games past before arcades went dead as the dodo. As far as for War Gods, I want to give it a -5 out of 5. The only good qualities are some of the fatalities. By the way, there's glitches out the ass in this game. Too many to count. Anyway, this one gets a 1 out of 5. It is terrible. I wanted to give it a 2, but unfortunately, the fatality, you know, there's really only good 2 high points. Everyone's fatality but Joe and the flying pussy attack. Other than that, this game is crap. So that's my review of War Gods and BioFreaks. Definitely recommend that one. Alright, I will see you next time when I got more PS1 video games to review that I bought for MagFest. What will the next video be? Well, let's just say we're going to go into some wrestling, brother. That is right, I will be reviewing not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 wrestling games for the PlayStation 1. And oh boy, it's going to be fun. Now, just to clarify before I sign off, I actually bought 5 wrestling games. But one is getting a video all its own because it's the best. Till then, this is the Dear UG signing out saying enjoy the football today. Peace. Woo!